Okay, we're going to see if we can't turn our pancake character here into more of a three-dimensional form. So one of the first things I want to do is cut down the middle of these edges here so that we can then scale it so that it's a little bit more rounded off. So I'm going to go to multi-cut, hold down Control, middle mouse click, and that's going to create a edge there. So I want to grab these two edges on both sides here, and then in the front and the back. And then also too, I'll grab the hand. You can shift double click the edges there. So I've got those now for the arm there. Shift double click, shift double click, and then shift double click. Okay, so that's going to give us this selection, and then I'm going to hit R, and I'm just going to scale that down like that so we get a little bit more of a rounded out feel. I'm going to pull it in just a little bit, about like that. You can kind of see it pulls in the chest of our character here. And then for our shoulders, I'm actually just going to grab these verts. This is actually more of a trap, or rather, I'm going to grab this edge. I'm actually going to pull this in until we have an alignment here, and then here. So I'm going to double click this edge and grab this. I'm going to try and line all that stuff up just for neatness sake. So now I grab that R and I want to scale it like that. I'll hit W and kind of pull that in and over. And then I think that's pretty good. Right click vertex again, so here and here, here and here. And then R and pull that in. Not quite that much, but about like that. Okay, now I'm going to grab these guys here and W and just kind of pull those in, then shift grab these guys and pull those in. I'm going to grab this and I pull it in a little bit, and I think this is okay. I'm going to grab this and just kind of hit R and scale it a little bit. It's not perfectly round, but I'm not going to worry too much about that. I'm just going to kind of look at it in an eyeball, and I'm looking at the distance from these two edges here, just from the angle that we're at. And so I'm just trying to make things a little bit neater and tidier. That's it. Okay. Same thing in the front, where we probably want to do something like this. Edge. Let me clean that up. Okay. Alright. And then now I want to double click this edge. Shift, double click that edge. R, scale it straight. And then double click, shift, double click, scale it straight. And then I think we're good. Alright, so now for our character's feet, so I'm going to grab this and this, and this. So this is what we have selected. So we've got this, 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 and this. And we want to take and do that. I've grabbed this set of faces here and extrude, W, and extrude just the smallest amount, and then grab this edge, pull it down, right click, hook these vertices here, pull them down, and then we're going to line these back up. I'll shift and grab these as well. So shift and grab these in the front and line them up. But what we're going to do is we're ultimately going to grab from here to here. So I'm going to shift, so I clicked, held shift, double clicked, R, and we're going to scale that straight. Same thing here. Double click, scale that straight. Okay, I'm going to pull this edge over just a little bit. There we go. Okay, now I'm going to pull this edge down like so, and then we want to take and grab this edge and this edge, so you can kind of see I grabbed that edge and that edge from the foot. I'm going to hit R, and we're going to connect those up at some point, but right click vertex, grab those vertices there, W, and kind of pull them down. Okay, so we're getting pretty clean here. Everything is looking a little bit better. I'm going to grab this and this, pull this down a little bit more. We're going to leave that neck area alone for now. In the front, typically you have the back kind of go up a little bit more, and then you also have like a butt. But for now, we're going to leave it like that. So now what I want to do is I want to grab the back of the arm underneath here, and this, and I just want to pull this, Control deselect, so the body and the leg, I'm sorry, body and the leg here and here. Can I see that in the back? I'm going to pull that forward just a smallest amount. And then same thing here and here and here. Pull that back just a little bit. Right click, vertex, here and here. R, scale that in like that. Grab these guys. We'll wait on those guys. I think that's probably close enough for now. But on our leg here, we're going to grab these vertices here, or our foot, pardon me. I'm going to round this out. I'll shift to grab these, so kind of keep selecting and keep moving over. And this guy, I'm going to push out just the smallest amount. And this guy, I'm going to push out just the smallest amount. This guy, I'm going to, on these guys, I'm going to pull them, grab that, I'm going to pull them forward just a little bit. And this, I'm just going to push back a small amount. Alright, now, we're going to connect some edges. So I'm going to grab this, and there's a connect tool, and sometimes it'll let you cut across. This time it didn't let us, so it won't let me cut across, but sometimes it does. But what we'll do is we're going to multi-cut. So instead of connect, we'll use multi-cut, but we're going to cut across, connecting up our vertices for our hand, like so. And in the back here. And you can just delete if it misses. You notice that we have some, we've got some triangles here, and we want to try and stay in quads, and that's part of edge looping. But we'll look at that in just a sec, and we'll redirect some edge flow. So I'm going to hold down Control and a middle mouse click in the middle of our character here, and then again middle mouse. And actually, let's do this. I'm going to hold down Control, and I'm going to left mouse click closer to the leg, and then left mouse click closer to the top of the torso. Left mouse click in the middle here, so I'm going to middle mouse click in there. Now I'm going to take, and I want to just try now and give myself a little bit more form. So I'm going to pick that edge, shift, double click this edge, go to the back, pick this edge, shift, double click that edge. And now I'm going to hit R, scale it out just a little bit. And then this particular edge here is very close, and it's I'm going to Control deselect these guys. I'm going to try and scale this stuff straight like that. Hit W and just kind of pull this over. What I'm watching out for is right here. So as I pull this over and I'm looking at the distance from here to here, I want it to be about like that. But this particular edge here for our waist, we got to kind of be careful of. We're going to have one more cut that's going to come down in between here and here. So I'm going to turn on multi-cut and show you. So we're not going to do it just yet, but we're going to place one more cut inside there. And then we're going to end up smoothing out the vertices. So before we do that, though, I want to connect up down here for the feet. So I'm going to cut that. And then that looks pretty good as far as the feet go. I'm going to hold down Control, multi-cut, middle mouse click right there. And then, yeah, I would say it's okay. So we're going to have a cut through here again and a cut through here. And then the same thing here. So I'm going to hold down Control, middle mouse click, hold down Control, middle mouse click, and then hold down Control and middle mouse click. We're going to smooth some of this out. Middle mouse click. I'm going to do not middle mouse here. Well, we'll do middle mouse, yeah, because that's going to be the elbow, and then left mouse click, or middle mouse click again, sorry. Control middle mouse. I want those evenly spaced. Alright, so now what I want to do is I want to right click and I'm just going to grab all my vertices, everything but the center, so all of that. And then I'm going to come up here to edit mesh and I'm just going to hit average. But I'm going to average it like 5 times. See what that looks like? That looks pretty good. It's not too bad. But let's average it maybe like, say, 8 times. Close, but not quite. Let's do 10. Okay. So 10 gets us pretty close to a nice grid. So I would say that's good. Alright, so we got a little bit of a problem in the middle. We got some scaling to do, but on the whole, it's looking okay. Alright, so let's go ahead and scale up some of the items that we have that we know are off. So I'm going to right-click Vertex. I'm going to marquee select all these vertices through here. So we need to get the volume back for that. I'm going to hit W. We're just going to kind of pull this up. Hit Z if you misselect and don't pull it properly. But I'm going to hold Shift and select these guys too. So I'm selecting all the way through. So make sure you've got all these picked. And we're just going to pull this up instead of trying to scale that like that. And then I'm going to select all of these all the way through. Okay. And pull them down just a little bit. Now I'm going to grab all of those all the way through. And I'm going to hit R. And I'm going to scale them flatter a little bit. F, sorry about that. I think I hit A. I did. And then W. Sorry about that. And then I'm going to take and place. I'm not going to have the feet as big as the design has, because if we do have the feet that big, we won't be able to take them and pick them up and move them underneath our character. So I'm going to place them about right here. I'm also going to pull them, in this case, over just a small amount so that we can actually take the character and make it walk, because we want to be able to do that. Alright, so now what I want to do here is, again, I want to average. So once we get the hand, got to do the hand, so I want to take the hand and kind of scale it up and scale it out. W, kind of position it about like that. And then double click this edge. I'm going to hit R, scale it straight, W, pull it down to the middle. Double click again, both sides. So just make sure, Shift, R, scale, double click, scale, scale. Come back in the front, Q, get the move tool out of our way, R and scale. And now we've got kind of a nice evenness about almost everything that we have for our character. Just pick the center, so I'll double click this edge here and scale this straight. And then notice it's not touching, so I'm going to hit W and just kind of pull it to the center. It doesn't have to be perfect because we're going to mirror this over. But now it's looking okay. The only thing I see is this set of edges for the foot, right? So this set of edges up here on the body is looking pretty good. But the problem is that down here by the time it gets to the leg, they're not. So I'm going to control, so you just simply shift, or not even shift, just double click that edge, hold down control, and deselect the body. Now we're just going to kind of move this over until we kind of see that it's in the center here. And then underneath here, we're going to control, move that to there. I'm going to pick this edge, shift, double click this edge, pull it over so that it's pretty close to the center as well. Okay, so that's not looking too bad. Let's take and do this edge. So I'm going to pick that edge, shift, double click that edge, and round out our hand. And then one more time, we're going to multi-cut. So I'm going to multi-cut here, close to the top of the body, here for the knee, and then here for the leg. And that one got a little wonky, but that's okay. I'm going to double click everything. And then now we're going to go again to Edit Mesh and Average Vertices. And that does a really good job of making everything a nice, even mesh. Right click, double click the edge, W, pull it over. Okay, so we got a pretty clean mesh. It looks good. I'm going to multi-cut a couple more times, but one more time here for sure. I'm going to hit Z. Let's turn on Edge Flow now. So Edge Flow, hold down Control and middle mouse click. It gives us kind of a nice edge all the way around the bottom of our character's feet. Need to be a little bit of adjustment there. I'm going to grab this vertice and kind of pull that in a little bit. And then, yeah. So it's not looking too bad. We know that we want to pick this vert, double click this vert, pull this back so it lines up properly. I'm going to hit R. And then I'm going to do the same thing here, R. Those are going to be really important. I'm going to multi-cut from here for our toe to here. And then edge flow is still on, so it's going to kind of pop it out. But on the whole, it looks good, and I think we're pretty much done as far as like placing our edges in and getting everything the way we want it. So in the next lecture, what we'll do is we'll set up some edge loops. So we'll loop in to where we see these triangles, and we're going to get rid of them. So we got a triangle here, and then we've got a triangle up here on the hands and down here. So we're gonna look at removing some of those triangles from our edges, the topology of our character. So we're gonna go File, Save, Scene As this time. Make sure you do that. I don't think I did that in the first lecture, but in the second one here I'm going to. I've already got a naming convention set up and I've already saved, so I'm just gonna save over it. But you're just gonna type in here where it says 1, 2, and then that's going to be it. For me, it's going to ask, do I want to replace it, and I'm going to say yes. All right, I'll see you in the next one.